Hey everybody, welcome back to Rebootleggers. This is a comedy-ish podcast where we reboot everything illegally and inappropriately. I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Sarah.
I don't know that inappropriate was the right word, but it's an I word.
We're running out of them. We got to rotate.
Yeah, I need to get back to underground and find more U words, because that was the thing. But,
because that was the thing before. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
it's our own
underground.
show. I should remember this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. It says a lot about how much you pay attention and how much you care.
Anyway,
about
we're bringing a blast
show.
from the past to you listeners this week.
Yeah, here we are coming at you on this Independence Week in America Day 2018.
Yeah, when you're hearing this, tomorrow is America Day. But for us, it already happened.
But, no.
Because we're talking about aliens.
Yeah, we're talking about aliens and how ancient they are, but for us,
History Channel's Ancient Aliens, specifically the TV show.
For us, it still hasn't already happened. It's still happening on Wednesday.
If you question it, Scott, you are denying all of History Channel's Ancient Aliens.
The 4th of July is still just on Wednesday.
I'm going to ask you to keep an open mind during this one.
My mind, it's really hard to get it open. I'm going to need to... I don't know how to... It's been shut for so long.
Ancient Aliens, of course, the History Channel quote-unquote show.
Yeah, you know the
that
meme. Well, it's definitely
question,
a show. It's definitely a show.
It's a show. Every episode they ask the question, were aliens involved with X? And of course they answer it.
Maybe? The answer is always...
The answer is, I don't know, what do you think?
And of course, this is where that good meme came from with the guy with the big hair, where he's saying aliens, and every year his hair got bigger.
It just got so big. And
this was also from that time, which I think we might still be in, during History Channel's run, where they just were not concerned at all about history.
Yeah. In fact, so this show has been going on for 13 seasons, which is incredible, because I was sure it was canceled.
It's still going?
Yeah.
No. Really?
Yeah, season 13 is active.
Oh my god, I thought it ended. Oh my god.
And so they eventually run out of, good material, and they start just wildly speculating about things. Like they have an episode about, like, when people land on Mars, maybe there'll be aliens there.
What if they find aliens there, What if the reason the Mars rover hasn't seen any aliens is because they were always standing directly behind the camera? They just kept turning with the rover, so the rover never saw them. But
so
if a person went to Mars, they could turn around much quicker.
Oh yeah, like really fast, because the aliens would always be hiding.
How come the Mars rover doesn't have the 360 camera? You think that would be the best solution?
I know, it seems like a big oversight.
Ugh.
We should talk to NASA after we're done this.
Yeah, for real.
So as a documentary show, the topics covered are far and wide, the past, the present, and the future. Multiple recurring episodes about the same event over the course of the seasons, like Roswell, for instance. There's 3 or 4 episodes about Roswell. But I think today we're gonna keep it classic, and we're gonna kind of pick one topic and expand it into. I think we decided we're gonna do a movie, an Ancient Aliens movie.
I think we don't make it documentary style. We basically just take the ideas that they put forth and then just make a movie out of it.
And then just make it. Yeah, I'm into that. Let's go through a few of the theories presented in Ancient Aliens, just for people that aren't overly familiar.
Just a lot of episodes are the one we're gonna focus on.
Let's do a couple, because I think people need to know.
Yeah, they gotta know. Okay, so how about Season 3, Episode 9, Aliens and Deadly Weapons, where this episode suggests the development of various weapons throughout history may have been guided like aliens.
Oh man, it was aliens.
By aliens. Stories of divine weapons such as Excalibur as possibly powered by an alien source. The mystery of Greek fire as a gift from angels or for the Byzantines. Greek fire, it's just... guys.
So season 10, episode 7, Creatures of the Deep. It turns out, Scott,
Nessie?
I don't know if you knew this, that Nessie and the Kraken were underwater aliens who came from wormholes too deep in the ocean for us to sense.
What about, is that also Cthulhu?
No, he is not covered in the episode. I'm not sure if
It
he's
seems
in a
like
different one.
it seems like for this one they just stole Cthulhu and then decided he was an alien.
Boy, there's some wild ones.
Did Cthulhu come from a wormhole in his thing?
I don't think it wasn't like science. He just like was always out there.
Just locked
Kinda
in.
like-
Am I saying that right? Cthulhu?
I think so. That's how
Oh,
I
there's
always
the
thought.
one about how Da Vinci was an alien.
Yeah, Da Vinci and Nikola Tesla were both secretly aliens trying to advance humanity.
Oh, wait.
There were two separate episodes.
Maybe I don't actually think the episode is about him being an alien. It's just saying that his work was inspired by alien technology he encountered.
Oh. Let's talk about season 4, episode 10. Dinosaurs are aliens. Now that's interesting because
That's Pacific Rim.
evidence suggests that dinosaurs were the original inhabitants of our planet. So what if we're the aliens?
Evidence suggests that, meaning we have scientific evidence that dinosaurs lived here before humans. Like that's not even fucking news, you guys. That's just what we know is that dinosaurs were here first.
Scientists were here before even dinosaurs, Scott, and that's something that I really want to touch on. Boy,
But no, for real, Pacific Rim already addressed that because we learned in Pacific Rim that the dinosaurs were the prototype kaijus.
yeah, they basically said dinosaurs are real. And that's true because they're real.
Dinosaurs are real, and if dinosaurs are real, that means the aliens have to be real. That's just regular logic because they say like, look, dinosaurs are probably aliens. Oh, and look at this, dinosaurs are real, which means aliens. Look at these bones. Look
The
at these
most
bones.
stereotypical one, I think, season 2, episode 8, unexplained structures. Theorists say that specific historical sites around the world, Incan ruins, Karnak stones of France, the Zorats Carrere in Armenia, were constructed using techniques that humans could not have known at the time, architecturally, and that they must have been built by aliens.
It's weird they didn't mention Stonehenge, seeing as how that's kind of the big one.
Seeing as that's the big one.
That's the real big one. Now,
I think we're going to horn in on season 3, episode 11, though, Scott.
for sure. Now, Transformers Beast Wars did actually establish that
Oh, they covered this?
they covered Stonehenge for sure. So that was aliens, actually. That one was correct.
Okay. So that was the Transformers, everybody.
Yeah, that was well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the Transformers. That was the thing. The Transformers found it, and they were like, "Whoa, some aliens have been visiting this planet."
Oh, so okay. So the Transformers told the humans, no, that one was right. This is aliens.
Well, and when the Beast Wars were there in the prehistoric times. That's why some of them are dinosaurs. So there were no humans yet.
Oh, so they had no one to tell. So they whispered it to dinosaurs, but
They
the
told
dinosaurs
us
didn't.
later in the form of the documentary series
Okay.
Beast Wars that was on Fox Kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the dinosaurs didn't understand English, and so the Transformers couldn't tell them.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had no one to whisper it to.
Right. But yeah, so like you were saying, given that it is Independence Week here in America, we're going to focus on the episode about how America was founded by aliens.
Season 3, episode 11, Aliens and the Founding Fathers.
Yeah, why don't you give me that Wikipedia summary?
There is evidence that some of the philosophies and secret symbolism surrounding the founding of the United States has connections to extraterrestrials. Examined are, Benjamin Franklin's writings on the plurality of worlds, stories that George Washington was visited by aliens at Valley Forge, and Thomas Jefferson's written report of a UFO sighting, in addition to the Freemasons' interest in ancient astronomy. So, aliens looked at us, they looked at the world, and they said, we need a country that is going to be able to send people to the moon in roughly 200 years from now. The only way that we can think to do that. The only way that we can think to do that, because humans need to touch the moon for our secret plans. The only way they can do that is if we get this new country started, and it's called America.
Do you think conservatives would be more upset if they found out that America was ordained by aliens and not by God? Because I mean,
That would
it's still
entirely
kind of
depend
ordained.
on whether or not God was an alien.
Dang,
Dang.
dude.
Dang.
Dang, dude.
So we're
So-
going to be horning in on this episode and really expanding some of the concepts inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's get into our first segment called Love It or Leave It.
Love me or leave me or let me be lonely.
And we're going to talk about what we want to keep about. Now, this is a bit of a different format, kind of, because we're adapting like an episode of something into a movie.
Our source material is more of a general idea that a sane person wouldn't really have or say.
Yeah, let me see. I'm hoping kind of now. I'm kind of hoping that the Ancient Aliens wiki exists. Okay, good. They do have their own wiki. Now let me just. Ooh, this is not great. Okay, here we go. I just want to get a really big synopsis of episode 11. Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's split into acts and everything. Oof. Okay. Theories and evidence relating mainly George Washington, TJ, and
TJ.
and
We're gonna
Beej-
call him TJ.
and Beej Franklin.
I bet you real people called him TJ.
Do you think?
Yeah. No.
Do you
probably
think
not.
anybody called Ben Franklin Beej Franklin?
Oof, I hope not. Maybe they do in ours. So
What
here's
was
the
Benjamin Franklin's middle name?
thing.
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what it was.
What was it?
Nobody knows. Wait. Hang on.
Is it because he's an alien? Are we starting?
Did he not have a middle name? Benjamin Franklin didn't have a middle
People don't
name.
always have middle names, yeah.
He didn't have a middle name. It was got to be an alien.
All right, so let's see.
He was the president of Pennsylvania? That was a thing?
All right, so let's see. Thomas Jefferson saw bright glowing lights 200 yards above the ground in front of his house.
Mm-hmm.
It radiated tremendous heat and crashed into the ground, although it did not create a crater.
So wait, how did it not create a crater?
He also didn't find the object. Thomas Jefferson remains the highest ranked American public official to ever report a UFO sighting.
Now,
He reported this in 1800, 30 years after America became free.
why are we even talking about this one?
It seems a little weird.
We're saying that aliens didn't get involved until after America happened?
I think that they didn't. I think showing their ship to TJ, I think that might have been an accident.
Well, and here's the other thing. Okay, I gotta take off my skeptic's hat because my instinct is just to call bullshit on every single one of these, and we're not gonna get anywhere.
We're here to create a movie that supports the evidence.
Okay. I need to realign my brain real quick. I just gotta.
So Thomas Jefferson accidentally gets a peek into the aliens' secret large plans, right?
Oh, I love secret large plans.
Secret large plans, because secret small plans, they don't make countries, Scott.
They gotta be large. Okay, so TJ sees a bright light, an alien spaceship, and I guess it just flies away.
Yeah, it flies away. He said that his account says that it appears to crash, but he can't find it, and the area of the crash has no craters.
Okay, so it's just like
I guess he just went
buzzed.
crater sniffing. I don't really know how that works.
That's the industry term for when you go to find a crash site, crater sniffing.
Crater sniffing.
Okay.
Crater sniffers are a dime a dozen. There's nobody that actually has, you can't, until you bag your first saucer, you're just a crater sniffer.
Okay, so crater sniffer is kind of a disparaging
It's a
term.
derogatory term, yeah.
Okay. Now you sound like you have some experience here sniffing crates.
Only a little bit. I was into it in high school, a little bit in college, but I've since upgraded to mostly non-field work research,
Did you ever bag a sauce?
Never bagged a saucer.
Oh, okay. So you're still a crater sniffer.
I am still a crater sniffer.
What happens what do you become when you do the bagging? After
You're,
what's your new
you're
title?
a saucer bagger.
Oh, of course. Obviously. That's my mistake. The chronology of this is weird. Let's put a pin in that because I do see that there's in Fredericksburg in 1752, George Washington is initiated into the Freemasons, which do include Beej Franklin.
And the Freemasons obviously are secretly run by aliens due to their arcane symbology.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious when you think about it.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that they're getting into here is that the Freemasons talked about the plurality of worlds, which I think means
the idea that there's life on more than one planet and kind of in general.
Is that
a
what that
plurality of
means?
Worlds, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I guess the Freemasons talked about that, and then did these ideas influence the founding fathers? Question mark.
I'm gonna help us out a little bit. So this is the every episode of Ancient Aliens ends with a rapid fire series of provocative questions that are not they are not factual statements, but they lead you to believe that they are saying this is true, even though it's technically a question. So this is the outgoing. This is the outro. Did George Washington receive secret knowledge at Valley Forge that guided him founding the United States? Did he share this information with the other founding fathers? Did they pass this knowledge down to the men who followed them? Mm-hmm. If aliens were present at the founding of the United States, did they do it to watch over us? Or did they have a greater plan?
Yeah, and
will they return? And then that's the end.
George Washington was apparently visited by an alien because there's a painting of him at Valley Forge. I think it's at Valley Forge. There's a painting of Washington as a Freemason, and over his right shoulder, there's a scene of a ladder ascending to heaven, which everyone thinks is, Jacob's ladder. Like from the Bible story where there's a ladder.
From the Bible.
There's a ladder going up to heaven that the angels are going up and down. But in the painting, the ladder doesn't come from heaven. It comes from a dark, round object emitting multicolored lights. So
aliens told him how to win wars.
Yeah, did the aliens come down and...
Did they give him training?
Did they give him training?
Is the founding of the United States some kind of Iran-Contra scandal from an alien perspective?
Oh, dip. Okay, we need to actually talk about the segment here.
Yeah, we should really get into it. So I like aliens, obviously. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that nothing is ever allowed to just happen, and there has to be aliens driving it.
Mm-hmm.
There are no coincidences. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever chooses things on their own. It's all the aliens.
Yes.
Aliens made me rebel against the Kingdom of England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the idea of a Stargate embedded in the dome of our nation's capital.
That's radical.
I need to have that.
We're definitely going to use it.
I need to have that.
So let's... I don't like boring period drama. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about like old muskets. I don't really care about that stuff.
You want to see George Washington with a laser musket?
I think that would be cool. Or even, we could make this like a conspiracy movie where like present day people are like finding out history.
And then we're just doing National Treasure again, though.
We're kind of just doing National Treasure, but it could be interesting.
I want to do historical movie where
you want to go historical.
I want to do Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but George Washington Alien Boy.
You want to tell the true story.
The true story of George Washington Alien American. Now, I did say George Washington Alien Boy at first, which makes it sound like George Washington himself is an alien. And
a boy, and I'm maybe
is George
maybe
Washington
that's it.
himself an alien?
Maybe George Washington is only half human.
And the ladder is leading up to his dad.
Yes.
In the spaceship.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we like George Washington being an alien, which is not a thing not a thing that this original episode posits, but that's what we're going to take.
We're going to spice it up.
We do like TJ seeing a UFO.
Yeah.
But that happens.
And I think he's like a crotchety... he's
an old man at the time.
He's like, we don't need no aliens, and then George Washington says like, but TJ, I'm an alien.
Mm-hmm.
And then TJ learns to not be racist and accept his friend, like in Remember the Titans.
Okay, so according to this is something that I like. The Washington Monument is an obelisk whose point is to draw energy from the stars and radiate it out into the sacred precinct. And then there's a reflecting pool to reflect the obelisk. So you've got the monument pointing to the heavens, and in the reflecting pool, it points below. The idea here is there's a direct correlation between what's happening down here and what's happening up there. So,
oh, shoot, dude. So, aliens needed the U.S. to build the monument For what reason?
For what reason? And that's what we'll get into in a later segment. But in this segment, I want to keep that the Washington Monument is some sort of alien antenna.
The Washington Monument. So we've got George Washington, Alien Boy. We've got Washington Monument. We got laser muskets, probably.
Oh, definitely got laser muskets.
We got TJ and Beej.
TJ and Beej. Beej Franklin. Okay, hang on. I need to find. I want to find this. What Ben Franklin has to do with this theory.
According to the synopsis, Ben Franklin is who first proposed the plurality of worlds to the Freemasons.
That's it, huh? What I love about all of this is it's just the the idea that people before 21st century America were just so dumb that there's absolutely no way any of them could have ever been thinking about this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no one could even imagine that you could make your own country before the aliens told George Washington that he could do it.
Yeah, like, my God. Okay, so let's get into our next segment that we're more excited about, and this is called... Is this When and Where?
I don't remember.
We missed 1 week, and now we're fucked. Yeah, When and Where. This is where we talk about setting and genre. Now, the setting, of course, is pre-revolutionary American colonies, pre and post.
Yeah, the North American continent, mid to late 1700s.
To early 1800s.
To early 1800s. And honestly, to the year 3000.
Oh, we're going to go to the future?
If we've got a Stargate, we can go through time, Scott.
What? I thought Stargates
Did
were
George
just space.
Washington actually die at his home in Delaware? I don't know. Have you seen the body?
Now, his home was in Virginia, not Delaware.
Whatever, man. I don't know. He crossed Delaware. He could live there if he wants.
He did cross the Delaware, but he was from Virginia, and that's where his
Did George
home was.
Washington die at his home in Virginia? Did you see the body? I don't know.
I have not seen the body. I did stand at a couple presidents' graves in Philadelphia, which was
Did
kind
I
of
see
surreal.
George Washington at a Kinko's just last week? Maybe. I don't know.
Why is
there
he
was a time
still-
portal.
Why is he still here? Oh, so wait, clear this up for me. I thought Stargates were just space wormholes. They're also time
Stargates are
wormholes?
just space, but there's a couple episodes where there's like energy fluctuations and they go like to different times.
There
because
is the one
wormhole
where they
got
go to
all
the
weird.
70s. That's a very good one.
Yeah. It can happen is all I'm saying. So obviously it's the North American continent. Now, George Washington, he gains his power from cherry trees, and so that's what he does instead of eating human food.
That was George Washington Carver. Wasn't it? No, wait, that's the peanut guy.
That absolutely wasn't.
George Washington was the cherry tree boy who could not tell a lie about chopping that tree.
Yeah, maybe he can't tell a lie because his alien heritage does not allow falsehoods. Maybe he literally can't.
Okay, so
So let's tighten things up. Is this a story about George Washington growing up and finding out he's an alien, or is this
I think we focus primarily on George Washington. Then later he does meet Beej and Tej.
And do we actually include the American Revolution, or is it like a dramatic end the night before the Declaration of Independence?
I think we have to include the American Revolution because Valley Forge was where he was visited by aliens.
Valley Forge is where he was finally visited and given his birthright. That's right.
His
that's
birthright,
right.
the laser musket.
So we see a young George Washington as a baby, and he's bright pink and has antennae.
Oh, we just right up front we're revealing that he was an alien.
And his midwife says, "Tain't no human child I'm looking at." And then his wife, I don't know how they spoke in the old
of
times.
the devil, they say. That's
then-
Satan's baby.
Yeah, but then his mother, Martha Washington,
No, Martha Washington was his wife, I think.
also his also the name of his mother is a coincidence. So then his mother, I don't know her name. Mrs. Washington says
His
"He
mother's
stole my
name
baby."
was Mary Ball.
Mary Ball Washington says, "This is my baby, and you don't have to worry about who the father is.
And then the
'Cause
baby
it's not my husband."
and then the baby shapeshifts to look like a human?
Yeah. Mary holds the baby in her arms, and then it morphs into human shape. and then it opens its third and fourth eyes on its forehead, and it says,
And then they close.
You have been chosen. We will lead you to the truth.
We're getting into plot. We just need to focus on setting here, which is George Washington is an alien. Aliens did help found America because they knew that America would go to the moon someday, and of course, I guess
It's like that movie with Jeremy Renner and is it Amy Adams?
the Hurt Locker,
Yeah, the Hurt Locker, where the aliens come.
and they
And
can't
say
understand them, and they have to defuse their bomb for them.
Yeah,
Fun
So,
fact: speaking of Jeremy Renner, we just watched an episode of House he guest starred on.
yeah.
It was weird. He was a punk rocker who did bad music.
Meanwhile, Thomas Jefferson is a skeptic who doesn't believe in aliens. His friend Beej is always like, "What if there's other planets up there in the sky that have people on them?" And then TJ goes like, "You are so dumb." And
You are so dumb. That's just what he does
Yeah.
the entire movie.
He just keeps saying, "You're so dumb."
Oh, that'll be good because then at the end, he's the one who sees a UFO.
He's the one who sees a UFO, and he goes like, "What?"
You are so dumb. That's just his catchphrase.
That's his catchphrase. He keeps saying it like all the time. We're
constantly.
gonna get T-shirts, mugs, buttons
Okay.
with just Thomas Jefferson's face like a cartoon. It just says, "You are so dumb," and "dumb" is underlined.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got setting nailed down pretty good here. Let's get into our third.
Yeah, those are the only three. The rest of them are just signatures.
This is our third segment, which I'm really excited about. Actually, we call it "Who Can It Be Now?"
Can it be now?
This is where we talk about casting and characters. So, Frank, who's your ideal George Washington?
Boy, that's a tough one.
That's so
we
tough.
need somebody that exudes command, but also when you look at them, you say, maybe they're not all human.
Do you think we'd piss people off if we had someone who wasn't American play George Washington?
No, I mean, the greatest Americans that we have today are not American.
Yeah, I know that.
Arnold, Gregory House,
Uh huh.
Benedict Cumberbatch,
Uh huh.
etc.
Hugh Jackman,
Yeah. What's his name? The Punch Man.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Who's the Punch Man?
Yeah, you got it. He's Canadian.
Russell Crowe. You talking about Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Were you really? I genuinely
Yeah.
can't tell if you're doing a thing right now.
No, yeah, because he does the movies with the punching. Yeah. So, what do you got in mind? We're gonna need people that can rock a powdered wig.
Oh, for sure. Do you think George Washington wore the powdered wig while he was in battle and stuff?
No, and definitely not when he was in his alien combat form either.
Why do they? Oh my God, alien combat form. That's very good. Why did they wear powdered wigs in the first place? What's that about?
Probably because of they had to keep their heads shaved because of ticks and fleas, just all the time. But you could only pass laws if you had hair. That was the rule.
Oh, that makes sense.
So our main three here, we've got to cast George Washington, TJ,
Teach and
then-
Beach, and then
and then Benji Franks.
I think we put Betsy Ross in there just because that'd be she's a strong female character.
She an alien too?
I mean, I don't think any.
Did aliens teach her how to sew?
I was
the
gonna say
American
I don't
flag?
think any humans at that time had the capability to sew the way she did. Like, there's no way
Yeah,
humans
yeah.
invented that sewing on their own.
And then we'll get like not hilarious. It'll be funny though. Like she's like, I just don't have any ideas, and then Alien is like, boom, 13 stars. What's up?
Blam, blam. Oh, and there are stars in the sky, and you know where else stars are? Is space.
Is space
And aliens come from space. Okay, so let's get back to this. Who could play George Washington? What about Jeff Bridges?
Oh hell yes.
Or
Dude.
do we maybe get Jeff for a Tej or a Beach?
I could see Jeff as a beach.
Okay, we'll get
He
Jeff.
has that, because Benjamin Franklin is the historical figure that's most like the dude.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Okay, so
We
Benjamin
can
Franklin.
really just get him to reprise that role.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin, played by the dude Jeff Bridges.
You know who I want to see? I want to see Hugo Weaving in this movie.
He's not
I don't even care
American.
if it's Betsy Ross.
Is he American?
I honestly don't know.
The name like
But he's got that historical face.
Whoa, he's Nigerian.
Wow.
He's born in Nigeria. His nationality is British Australian. Interesting. Okay, so he's interesting. Cool. Who do you want, Hugo for TJ or for George?
I was thinking TJ. You read my mind with your alien powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that checks
works.
out. I like that a lot. What if we got... I mean, okay. Here's a problem, Frank, is that we've got ourselves in a situation where we're gonna have a young George Washington, which means we gotta cast a child again.
Oh boy, we gotta cast Teen George and Grown George,
And grown George.
and obviously Grown George alien form.
Well, that could just be grown George wearing green face or pink face or whatever. Okay, what if we get... Man, who's hot right now? Who's good? Let's get Tom Holland for Teen George.
Oh hell yes! And you know he can play aliens good.
You know he can play aliens good, and you know he can play 6 years younger than his real age good, because he is like 22.
Cause he is, yeah. God, he's younger than I am, and what is he doing with his life?
And he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
Well, he's not, I don't know.
Well, you made me depressed, Scott.
Arguably, he's not doing a lot. He's just famous. He's just well known.
So, yes. And so then he grows up. Who does he grow up to become?
He grows into... Who do you think a grown-up Tom Holland would look like? Hit me. It sounds like you got something.
Dude, he can basically keep the same hair and just be Tom Hardy.
You want Tom Hardy to play George Washington?
I think so. And because here's the thing. He looks good as an alien,
Now,
too.
you know Tom Hardy is British.
Yes.
This is
sir.
a controversial casting choice. which
So
I'm
was
not-
George Washington, by the way.
No, he was not. He was born in Virginia.
No, that's not true. His human flesh soul was constructed in Virginia.
Fair. Oh, this is
The alien
stupid.
half of him takes 3 years to gestate. And
Wikipedia
that was
lists his birthplace as George Washington Birthplace National Monument, Virginia. Like, why don't you just tell me the actual location, because the monument did not exist when he was born. Or did it?
Or did it? Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
So George Washington is a big deal. And I think when he's an alien, he gets forehead antennae, he opens his third and fourth eyes, obviously. Extra arms, yay, nay.
Maybe
If he's got
just-
extra arms, he can hold 2 different laser assault rifles.
What if he's just a polymorph, and so he can have any and all of those things as he pleases?
Okay, yeah. And that way he can also assume his human form, that's right.
And when he gets angry, he his antennas pop out and his eyes turn yellow, and he's like,
yeah,
"Ugh."
and he swolls up real big.
Yeah, and he has to get him back in, and so there are some incidents. And this is before the internet too, so it was real easy for him to just like, nah, man, you were
Yeah,
drunk.
like, you didn't see nothing, you're crazy, no one else saw that.
Too many Sam Adams.
Yeah. His friend Sam Adams helped him out with the beer.
Yeah, he made a lot of. That's where it
Any
came from,
person who saw the alien form would get free drinks until they forgot.
until they forgot. It's perfect.
So they all grew up having adventures, probably. And George Washington could always do things the other boys couldn't, except lie.
Except lie. Oh man. So
So like, he like fell off a cliff by accident, and when he landed, he had no broken bones. And then he squared up and he jumped 30 feet vertically, and then got back up the cliff.
he's like, hey, what's up?
And then he's like, "Oh, people can't do that because I don't know. I always do that."
I always do that. History treats him as this brilliant general and tactician, but if you look at his letters, it's kind of revealed that he wasn't as brilliant as all that. Like, he almost lost the war.
He could just read minds from a distance
I
and
think-
counteract exactly the enemy generals.
It could be that, or it could just be like he was just slightly better than humans because he was half alien.
Do you think his alien parent? Do you think this is a test from his alien parents, or was he being given intel?
I mean, I actually do kind of like your mind reading idea the best.
Okay, so he could read minds. So he was always one step ahead of who he was fighting. But the problem is he had to be on the battlefield. He could not be planning from afar because his
Yeah.
telepathy had a limited range. And that's what earned him the reputation as the gutsy battlefield general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was always there on point.
Mm-hmm.
And he said things like, "They're gonna retreat now." I don't know how generals talk. We'll get a consultant from the army.
Yeah, that's good.
Probably gonna need a general.
They're gonna need a general. Okay, and who do you want for Betsy Ross? Just real quick.
The person that played the maid in the Brady Bunch.
So she's gonna be very old, and also I think she's dead.
Well, I mean, we can just go. We just got to get a lookalike. I want her. I need her to be Betsy Ross.
Okay. We'll CGI younger.
That's a firm. Yeah, that's gonna be a firm stoppage if we can't get that on the whole film.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we've got our cast, let's dive deep into this plot in our final segment called "What's Going On." Frank. So we've got birth of George, and he's a pink boy. Whew.
Doing all right?
I think I'm having a stroke. He's a pink baby boy. Pink?
And he's got the antenna. His mom cradles him. He loses the antenna and polymorphs into a human shape so that he can attract the most love, which the alien part of him knows.
He's very cute.
Growing up, baby George Washington could always do things that other people couldn't. He could chop down trees with his bare hands. He had a 30-foot vertical leap. He could run easily. He could top 18 miles an hour, no sweat for hours on end.
So he chopped down the cherry tree with his bare hands, and someone told on him
to eat the cherries.
And someone told on him, and his mom was like, "George, did you chop down the cherry tree with your bare hands?" And he was like, "I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the cherry tree." And he just left it at that.
He just left it at that because he's smart. He was smarter. With his telepathy, he always knew the answers to questions before people even asked him.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of cheesed his way all the way through school.
And so then he needed the cherries for sustenance. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, the cherries expanded his brain power.
Okay. All right. So then
as he grew up, he became a leader and a tactician. He entered the military academy because the intellectual pursuits were too easy for him with his brain power.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he needed to be able to challenge things like his ability to throw grown men like ragdolls.
Yeah.
He quickly became a leader, and then he met his best friends, Beej and Tej.
What if it turns out that England was being run by aliens, and they were trying to take over the Earth?
The other
slowly.
Side of the other side, the enemy aliens.
The only side. Here and then so there's just the one set of aliens that George Washington is a member of that race. And then he decides, like, because he's been living amongst the humans this whole time, he's like, this isn't right. We can't just impose our will upon their planet. And then he'll do the Revolutionary War. And I'm just going to skip way ahead to the end real quick.
Yeah. Well, but there's a scene where they're in the same room and George Washington says, like, we're going to make our own country. And then King George's massive cranium throbs and and a telepathic message enters George Washington's brain. And it says, you're going against your own kind.
Yeah.
And then George Washington is like, no, yes, I am.
Yeah, but then just to fast forward it to
30 years later.
I'm just gonna skip right ahead to the end to give you the twist ending. The twist ending is that this is what the aliens wanted all along because they knew if America was founded, then the moon would happen.
But it had to be a leader that was their own, but no one would trust them, so they had to make it so he would rebel.
They had to make it so that he would rebel, but it was all planned in many.
Because the second aliens touch the moon, it becomes fair game in intergalactic law.
Yeah, that's the intergalactic law. Isn't like once you touch another planet, it's once you touch a planet and its orbiting body.
Mm-hmm.
And
you gotta have all the. Because here's the thing: until humans landed on the moon, they weren't considered to be a tier 1 conquerable species. They were considered pre-technological.
Mm-hmm. And now that we're there, aliens can come and get us.
Aliens can just.
Which are they?
But George Washington installed the Washington Monument.
Oh, dip!
As a last-ditch defense mechanism.
It's a giant laser.
It's a giant home defense laser that gathers the pride and joy and life energy of the American people through its massive network of perfect geometrical shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And it funnels that into an invisible, undetectable, massive defense energy beam that has been blowing aliens out of the sky for over 250 years, Scott.
Tell me about the Stargate in the dome of our nation's capital and how that came to be.
Yeah, so the Stargate in the dome of our nation's capital is how George Washington communicates with aliens that want to have peace treaties with Earth after getting their advanced warships blown out of the sky.
That's good.
Except he can also use it to go to the future, and that's why I saw him at Kinko's.
Can he go to the future, or is he just immortal?
Imagine if you could use a time machine to be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
Without aging and splitting yourself up among hundreds of thousands of timelines. Is that not immortality?
That's fair. Now, when did you see him at the Kinko's?
Just last week. He was getting copies made.
I was about to ask, what was he doing? What kind of copies?
Yeah, he was. I didn't get a good chance to peek because he was running them through like that roller do-it-yourself laminator.
It was just like flyers for his band.
Yeah, I said, "Hey man, you look a lot like George Washington," and he looked at me and he said, "I do," and I said, "Haha, it's like are you George Washington?" But then he can't lie, so he said, "Yep."
Did you say, "Show me your teeth"?
No, I thought that would be rude.
Oh, that's how you know for sure.
Because the wooden. Yeah, the aliens never figured out teeth technology.
Yeah.
Humans, dentistry is all humans. It's one of the few things that only humans did.
Did you see the thing about how it turned out George Washington might have he more likely had teeth made from slaves' teeth?
That's incredibly disturbing, and that's not going to be in our film.
Yeah, we're not gonna put that in there, but
And at the end of the movie, too, it's going to like play the credits, and then instead of a post-credits screen, it's going to be a black text scroll that just says, "Did all of this happen?" You decide.
you decide.
Maybe. It
So,
didn't matter.
we need to talk about the Valley Forge scene real quick. We just need to make sure we hit that.
Yeah.
So Valley Forge is the thing that the place during the American Revolutionary War in 1777. So like he apparently got visited by aliens. Why did they?
Yeah.
visit
So this was
him?
his dad. His dad called on the phone, and George Washington opened up the.
He had that scene from Superman where he's like, "You are an alien. Your responsibility is to protect these babies."
Because the cell phone technology, even for advanced aliens back then, was like big 80s cell phones. So he had to extend his space ladder into the sky and then project the satellite from the top of the elevator, and then to call his dad.
Okay, I'm into that.
And his dad said like, "This is enough, son. Like, come home." And like he sends like a big brain throb, and then George Washington's massive brain also throbs, and it is like pulsing. And he says like, "Dad, these are my people. I'm half human, and I choose to fight for Earth is under my protection now."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Let's fight," and he takes his dad's laser musket from him.
Yep. And then he goes, "I will win the war with this single-handedly."
That's
And he
pretty
does.
good.
He goes out to the front of his army and he just starts using the laser rifle, and nobody can touch him.
Pew 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 pew. Like, how is he firing so fast? It should be taking him
Yeah, it's a fully
a
automatic
score
laser
of
weapon.
minutes.
It's got a hand crank on the side, so he's just going nuts.
Oh, he's just going nuts. Just
Yeah, and he's just
would you
he's just
describe
mowing
it?
down entire armies.
Would you say he's freaking on the booty?
He's freaking on the booty of those redcoats.
That sounds pretty
And
good.
the laser weapon gets passed around. Really, everybody gets a turn with it, and it's pretty great.
It is pretty great. Everybody gets.
And then England, King George goes like, he broke the rule that the humans could only use their own technology. So he gives them all energy shields that block lasers, and then they have to
dip.
go back to muskets.
Oh man, so the laser musket fires quick enough that every single guy in the front line of the revolutionaries army gets to, like, each of them gets a chance to shoot it before the redcoats reload once.
Yeah. Because it took conservative historical estimates say that reloading a line of muskets was like easily 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was really boring.
Most fights would last hours, but it's just because you could only fire once every 12 to 15 minutes.
Oh jeez. So they'd like have sandwiches and stuff in between the
Yeah,
shots,
there would
right?
be like when it was noon, it was like super hot, and they would just all take a break. And that's the reality of war that we're going to show. And at the end, we're going to say, did this happen, really? Did this really all happen the way we said? Nah.
Maybe.
I mean, if
Okay.
you say so, what's stopping you?
I mean, if I,
Nah.
it's just like a stuttering, stammering guy at the end. I mean, if you want, I mean, All right, Frank, let me get your final thoughts on this.
Those laser weapons are still around to this day, and that's what Area 51 is for.
Ooh, that's very good. And lastly, give me a food pairing for this movie.
Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be a flight. You're gonna have three shot glasses of Code Red, Whiteout, and the Blue Mountain
The
Dew, whose
voltage.
name I forget.
Voltage.
because
I
it's
thought I
America.
was just gonna say you just mix all three
You're
together.
gonna have a big ribeye steak. You're gonna eat the whole thing without taking a single drink, and then you're just gonna shoot the red, the white, the blue all in a row.
That's good. That's really good. That sounds great. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show and enjoyed this very patriotic and very historical You Decide episode. If you like the show, please give us a good rating and review on iTunes. For real, that like helps us out a ton, and we could really, really use more ratings. Maybe if you do give us a rating, send us a tweet, and I'll give you something. I don't know what, but I'll give you something. And then tell your friends. Tell your friends about the show. That would help us out a ton. So until next time, I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Serra.
And Frank, what's our password for next week?
Our password for next week is...